Hey guys, my name is Sandy. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Central Florida area. Today I want to do a video on how does paying down your mortgage works. Let's get into it. So I am a licensed realtor and I'm also a licensed mortgage originator. So I have a little bit of experience in both parts of the spectrum. And I know a lot of clients are interested in how to pay down their mortgage or, paying down the mortgage balance. So there's several different ways of doing it. There's so many different education on this, different techniques to follow. The first thing is if you have an ARM mortgage, like an adjustable rate mortgage, it may be more advantageous for you to start to try paying the balance down because each month the monthly payment will be calculated on whatever that balance is. When you have an adjustable rate where the rates are adjusting up, you're not adjusting down. So in the first part of, if it's a 3-2-1 or there's different arms. So 3-2-1 mean you pay 3% less in the first year, 2% less, 1% less. There are also some adjustable rate where you start off at a very low rate. So let's say the regular rate is 6%. You might start off at 4%, but then it adjusts after every so many months or after a year. It's so many different terms. But let's assume that we have an adjustable rate mortgage and it's going to adjust, right? So we're in a set mode and it's going to adjust after a period of time. So the first period of an adjustable rate mortgage is where it's going to be the lowest rate. It also depends upon the regular mortgage and what the rates are doing. But let's pretend rates are continually climbing. So let's say it's at the lowest rate right now. So when you first get that loan, that's the time you want to start to try to pay it down so that when it adjusts, it's not adjusting on the first balance, right? And you all know that when you first get a mortgage, most of the payment you're making is interest, not really principal. So one of the ways of doing that is you need to figure out what is your principal amount. So let's say your monthly payment is $1,500.97. From that, the principal amount may be $157.26 or something. So what you do is each month you pay the principal for the following month. So in January, you pay $1,500.97 plus whatever the exact to the penny amount is of the principal. And you're going to tell the bank, please apply this to my principal only. Because if you don't do that, they'll just apply to the entire loan. So you want to figure out what the principal is and you want to pay the principal, which means you're foregoing paying interest for the following month, right? So the principal you're paying upfront prior month, you won't pay that interest. So that's a very nice way of doing that. So that's one technique. Another technique is paying your mortgage bi-weekly if the bank allows it. So if the bank allows you to do bi-weekly payment instead of a monthly payment, then you could also add the principal every bi-weekly. So let's say if you're doing it this 2 weeks, you add the principal balance to this 2-week payment. You're doing it 2 weeks from that time, you add the principal balance. So you're splitting the mortgage in two. Some banks will allow you to do it, some banks won't, based upon your bank, right? So with the ARM, that's a great way to do that. For a fixed rate mortgage, you want to do the same thing. You want to see if you want to pay your principal a month in advance, the principal only. So hear me when I'm telling you this. If the mortgage bank is $1,500 a month, the mortgage, your mortgage payment is $1,500 a month. Paying $3,000, because that's what some people tell me they do. Paying $3,000 is not going to really affect the mortgage balance, because they're going to just apply that to the mortgage balance, to the interest. So if you're doubling your mortgage payment, you have to tell the bank, please apply whatever the extra is to principal only. One of the cheapest way to do that, because a lot of people is like, well, I cannot afford my mortgage payment, I can't double it. So what you want to know is what is the principal balance, what's the principal monthly payment, because in the mortgage payment there's going to be interest, principal, and escrow, right? Escrow is where the bank is collecting the property taxes and insurance monthly so they could pay it at the end of the year for you, whatever that year is. So you want to find out what the principal amount is, the monthly principal amount, and you want to tell the bank, please apply, let's say $157.97 to my principal only, right? Which means I'm paying the $1,500 plus the $157.97. This is in this example, so that when you're paying that in, let's say April, you're paying the principal for May. May comes to pay the principal for June. June comes to pay the principal for July. That's how you slowly start to pay down your principal. Now, let's say you have a bonus. Let's say you're just paying a regular monthly payment every month and then you get a regular bonus. You need to tell the bank, let's say you got a $5,000 bonus from your job and you want to put that towards your principal. You need to tell the bank, please apply this to my principal only. Now, when you get the loan, in the beginning, when you get in the mortgage, you need to find out if you could prepay your principal. You need to find if there's any kind of penalty to prepaying your principal down as you go through this journey. A lot of investment loans do have prepayment penalties. I don't find that so much with like a primary residence mortgage, depending, because sometimes they do based upon if you're doing an investor loan or if you're self-employed and the bank is giving you a special loan because you don't have a paper trail of paychecks and that kind of stuff. I did a video on that before. So it may have a prepayment penalty. So make sure the mortgage you're getting does not have a prepayment penalty. You want to find all this information out before you actually sign on the dotted line, right? So you want to, does it have a prepayment penalty? Can I pay my principal in advance? Can I do principal monthly payments in advance? Is there any penalty for that? So once there's no penalty for that, that's one of the ways of starting to pay down your mortgage. Or if you get the bonus, as I said, you could just do that, you know, that big payment towards the principal. Or maybe you get your tax returns back and you got some good money in the tax returns. So maybe then you're like, you know what, we got some good money in our tax return. Let's just put that towards the principal. But you must tell the bank it's towards your principal. You can't just send them, let's say the monthly payment is $1,500 per month and you send a check for $3,000 thinking they're just going to put the balance towards the principal. They will not. And each month you need to pay the exact monthly payment. So you got to have the exact monthly payment and you had whatever more you want on top of that, which in many cases, at the very minimum, should be the principal for the following month. That way you're not paying interest for that month. And you just want to make sure that the loan you're in, you're able to do this, because there's so many different loan products and so many different fine lines and so many different stuff that you want to make sure you know for a fact if that's allowed. So if you already have a mortgage and you're like, you know what, that makes sense, Sandy. I want to find out what my monthly principal is and I'm going to pay that down. If that's the case, then you need to call your bank and say, hey, I need to know if I pay my monthly principal 1 month at a time for every month, if that will go towards paying on my principal. Because I don't know what kind of a loan you're in, so you want to make sure that's what you're doing. So that's one of the easier way to pay it on your monthly payment. Years ago, there was a big deal of paying your mortgage payment bi-weekly. So you divide it by 2 and you pay half 1 month and half the other month. Some banks will allow it, some banks will not. Once again, you just got to figure out where your bank stands on that kind of situation, okay? If you have any questions, I want to get some more information on this, feel free to give us a call or text. Number should be somewhere up here. And we could make a consultation for you and go over that with you. But those are some of the ways of paying on your mortgage balance without actually paying it off. Another way of course, another way is refinancing or selling the house, right? And you already paid it off. But seriously, if you're trying to find a way to pay it off while you're in the house or to pay off your house faster, those are some of the ways to pay it off. Paying the principal in advance, doing bi-weekly payment, or sporadically paying towards the principal as you go through the year, either with a bonus from your job, tax returns money, whatever it is, you could use that to also pay towards it as well. I hope this helped, guys. I'll see you on the next video.